Internal OCD or pure O's are terms that we use to describe OCD where the compulsions are not visible. So you're not washing your hands a lot or you're not doing things in a certain order. The compulsions happen within your own mind, which takes just as much time and is just as distressing. The key thing is we actually understand it and treat it in the same way. This we've got here is broadly the cognitive model of OCD. Let's go through it. In OCD, it's not the intrusive thought that produces the anxiety, it's the intrusive thought combined with what it feels it means. So if I've had this thought and I feel that that will mean it's more likely to happen, so the fact that I've had this thought was going to attract it or create this thing, that's going to make me feel very anxious. Or if I feel that the fact that I've had this thought means that I'm going to lose control. I've just pictured myself doing something. What if that means I'm going to do it? You might feel yourself backing away. Or I must be bad. The idea that I'm thinking these things must mean that I'm bad. I must want it to happen in some way. What is wrong with me? Now, it's only natural that if this is how you're feeling, you're going to want to make that thought go away. And you'll do that in one of two ways, either squashing the thought or avoiding it. Squashing the thought looks like blocking, potentially, like trying to just keep the thought out of my mind. Sometimes that takes a lot of mental energy and you're trying to think other things instead. It's still an action. It's something you're doing. It's like somebody who has a thought about germs washing their hands. I've had the thought, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm doing something to try and make it go away. Same thing. Other things you might do include opposites. So just trying to think the opposite thought. I've just thought something bad and now I feel like I need to think something good to try and counteract it, to try and either convince myself that everything's going to be okay or that I'm not a bad person. It might be counting, which is another way of blocking sometimes. So just trying to fill my mind with other activities that just make this thought go away. Or even bargaining. So if you've pictured something terrible happening, you might find yourself kind of wishing for the opposite, for something good to happen instead, as a way of trying to counteract the thought that you've just had. Avoiding is exactly what it says on the tin. So if you know that you have certain intrusive thoughts in certain situations or around certain people, you might avoid those situations or those people. Now, the difficult thing with that is this is really exhausting and actually you cannot escape thoughts. The more that you try not to think about something, the more that you think about it. If I say, don't think about a pink elephant or don't think about a child falling over, that image automatically comes into your head. So you're trying to outrun something that you can't outrun. And if anything, often it makes it worse. The treatment of OCD is aiming to tackle this, the interpretation, to get you to a point where actually you recognize that having any of these thoughts means nothing about you whatsoever. It doesn't mean anything's going to happen, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're going to lose control. How do we do that? A really good place to start can be reading up about OCD and intrusive thoughts, because once you do, you will find that you are not on your own having these thoughts pop into your mind. You will find you're not the only person that has them, and that starts to undermine this idea that the fact that you have these means anything at all about you. The other things we'll get you to practice is sitting with the thoughts, either in an exposure way, and that means sitting with the thoughts, seeing if anything happens and feeling that fear while you're there. So sitting with the thought of something happening and actually seeing that nothing happens no matter how much you sit with it. And actually that pounding anxiety, if you sit with it long enough, will start to go away on its own and you don't need to do any of this. What we're aiming for is for you to be able to get to a point where an intrusive thought pops into your head and you can basically go, oh, that's a bit unpleasant. And practicing doing that rather than responding with all of these things, just being able to say, oh, that's a bit of a horrible thought, but it means nothing about me. That's what we're aiming for.